Sorry about that, clerk. All right, it is 6:30. I'm going to call to order the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting for December 16th, 2025. Item number 1 is our invocation and reflection. This was for Commissioner Wheeler this evening. Is there anybody willing? Thank you. All right, Commissioner Gisler will lead us in that.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, as we gather today to make decisions for our community, bless us that we may use our best skills and judgment. Guide us as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that comes before us. Grant us the wisdom to act in the best interests of our community and fellow citizens. Help us show respect for each other and our entire community. Please grant us the wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times. Finally, watch over the men and women who keep us safe at home and abroad. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move to item 3. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. Commissioner DeLue. Here. Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazur. Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Ray.
Present.
Chair Strauss.
Here.
You have 6 present.
Thank you. And we have heard from Commissioners Morales and Wheeler being ill, and our regards also go to Commissioner Mazur. We'll move on to item 4 on proclamations. I think our first one, Vice Chair Pro Tem, is going to take that.
Thank you, Chair.
So let me have, sorry, I'll announce a little bit better. So we're going to bring forward a request for approval of a proclamation honoring Troy Bird for 25 years of service. I don't know if Troy, are you with us this evening? Welcome to come forward. Do you want to join him at the podium? Vice Chair Pro Tem will come and join you at the podium. And welcome to you.
There we go. All right. Whereas Troy Bird has served the residents of Kalamazoo County for 25 years as of December 10th, 2025, and whereas Troy Bird has faithfully served as a shift supervisor at the juvenile home, and whereas the County of Kalamazoo wishes to acknowledge and honor employees who have longevity under the umbrella of county government, since it is through longevity that experience in the employee's particular field is achieved, and now therefore be it resolved that the County of Kalamazoo Board of Commissioners does hereby acknowledge with gratitude the many years of dedicated service Troy Bird has imparted to the residents of the county, and offers its best wishes for many more years of mutual association.
There is a motion made by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you again, Troy, and congratulations to you on your service. We appreciate you so much. All right. Some commissioners are wondering if you started when you were 12, by the way, looking very young. All right, let's go to item 5, communications. First, we're in receipt of item 2025-1163. This is Southwest Michigan First's written report. Also 2025-16-17 Kalamazoo County Public Housing Commission's 2025 Work Plan and Budget and Report of Activities. Item 2025-16-23, there's a letter of support for child care solutions from LISC. Are there any other communications the commissioners wish to share? Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just note that I received several emails in support of the childcare solutions.
Thank you, Commissioner Ray. I'll acknowledge the same. Any others, commissioners? Okay. All right, let us move forward. We'll go to item 6, approval of the minutes. Item 2025-1604, request for approval, December 2nd, 25 draft committee of the whole and regular meeting minute.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Commissioner Ray. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We'll go next to item 7, approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Approval of the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8 is for presentations. We have none for this evening. Item 9 is an opportunity for public hearings. We also do not have one this evening. So now to item 10. This is public comment. This is the first opportunity in this session for public comment. Can be made again in person or by phone at 855-925-2801, entering meeting code 10748 and pressing *3 to join the queue. If you do wish to speak during both public comment periods, you must press *3 again at any time after this first period is over. Whether in person or on the phone, this is the first opportunity. You can address us for up to 3 minutes in a professional and respectful manner on any topic. Once you're recognized, please share with us your name and where you're from. Is there anybody wishing to make public comment? There's on your mic stand, you press the button that looks like a person down at on the black base of the microphone. There it is.
Ooh,
You got it. Welcome to you.
thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wendy Fields, and I stand before you as the president of the Kalamazoo branch of NAACP. But I'm also here to show my support for Debra Linz. It's my understanding that you're looking at making that decision this evening. I had the opportunity of I'm a retiree from Kalamazoo County. I worked for the county for 40 years in the Department of Health and Community Services, so very familiar with that department, of which she's looking to become health officer of. And I worked under Debra, even though not directly, but what I liked with working with Deb, I think that in the 90s, we were very impactful in reducing infant mortality because we all worked together within that department, but also outside of the department with the hospitals and family health center and some other things. So I think that we were doing the DEI work before DEI came into existence. We were working under the direction of Dr. Roger Vandersky, who understood the importance of changing the culture there. And it was under his direction that Deb and I worked there. And we flourished and we did well in all departments. The Health and Community Services was doing an excellent job. My last few years there, Dr. Vandersky, he retired. Then we were under the leadership of Dale Hine, who ended up having an aneurysm. And after that, I think it was Linda Buzas. And that's where the decline started. Have to be honest and not sugarcoat anything. After her, then we had Jim, who was not the best choice for the county. We have gotten feedback and pushback about whether or not Deb should be the one, because again, just another person being hired within the county. Oftentimes, I'm not in favor of that and think sometimes there are new voices, new people that need to be heard from. And that's not the case with Deb. I've seen the growth. I know that she understands the importance of changing cultures and what turning that ocean liner around is going to take time, but I think that she is the one to do it. She's passionate about the work. She's passionate about this community. She's passionate about the health department. She loves it. I've watched her grow from being over, I think it was WIC, and I'm not quite sure if she was somewhere else before that, but just what she's done climbing up. So she was somebody that, is that the end? Okay. Thank you. Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, thank you.
That's kind of cool.
Yes,
I think I'm gonna want to wait till I get that too.
just for,
So,
welcome to you.
hi, push to speak. I'm already there? Okay, the red light's on. So good evening. It's always an honor to be in front of you. My name is Tony Kennedy. I'm a veteran of the United States Army. I wear several hats, and today I'm here in support of Deb Linz. I am here to support her. Obviously, I don't have as much experience as President Fields has. I'm not as old as her. She's my friend, I could say that. So, and I don't have the history with Deb Linz that she does, and that while that's valuable, I also want to talk about the Kalamazoo Veterans Advisory Board, which is usually in the capacity that I come in. I always look to advocate for what works for that advisory board. Just being a veteran and knowing what I would want to know, or what I would like to see within the community and within that board and the work that's being done for veterans. And Deb, when she has filled in for Jim Rutherford, I don't have an opinion on him one way or another, don't really care. I just know that she's up and I think that she would be magnificent at the table. I think that she cares about veterans. I've talked to her one-on-one. I've actually just asked her, hey, what's your thoughts? What's your vision? Again, I can't give you a health department overview because that's not in my purview, but I can tell you about veterans and I can tell you about who cares about veterans. And I really believe that she brings a lot to the table just with her experience and her growth. And I believe that she will do a lot to help that Veteran Service Office grow and take them in a direction that will include things like DEI or being in the community and making a difference in our neighborhoods, which I really feel that we need to have. Yes, we have a millage. Yes, we have lots of things, but that just simply means that we have opportunity. We just need people in the seats so that they're able to make those opportunities come to fruition. So as a veteran of the United States Army and in Kalamazoo County and and the different hats that I wear, just learning from what's happening in the community, etc. I really think that that is an amazing choice if you make it. If you don't, I'm going to be coming the next week to share with you my thoughts on that. But no, I really think that she brings a lot to the table, and I'm hoping that everybody agrees that she should be given an opportunity, because sometimes when you're the assistant or somebody who's in the background, you don't get that opportunity to make those decisions. I think that she's going to be amazing. So I hope that you will listen to us and at least take us into consideration, that she's amazing. And we look forward to having her be on the Kalamazoo County Veterans Advisory Board as well.
Thank you for your time. Who else would like to make a public comment? Welcome.
Good evening again. Thank you for hearing our presentation earlier. My name is Susan Rosa, CEO with YWCA Kalamazoo. And I just wanted to share a bit more context to help identify some of the urgency and timing, just to kind of paint a broader picture for y'all. We know right now that the average wage for early childhood workers is $14.27. So we know right here in Kalamazoo, that's currently the average, which means half of childcare workers are making less than that currently. The minimum wage is changing in 2 weeks. It's increasing from $12.48 to $13.73. So we're getting closer and closer to what the average already is currently for early childhood, and we're already starting to price out some childhood providers here in Kalamazoo. So in 26, we know we will see early childhood closures. We know that cliff is already coming. By bringing this to a ballot in May, we know we wouldn't see the funds actually put into place until early 2027, right around the same time that minimum wage increases to $15 per hour, now pricing out half of early childhood care providers here in Kalamazoo. So we see this cliff coming. We're very nervous about what this will mean for Kalamazoo County, and we are asking that we consider the urgency of the catastrophic impact it would have on families should we see doors close and slots close across the county. What I might also suggest is that we are very eager to move at the pace of yes with this commission and with the broader community, and we are more than open to talk to everybody and anybody in order to decide what are the steps that we need to take in order to make sure that we are answering everybody's questions and gathering all of the data and demonstrating the confidence that we need in order to see the community vote yes for this particular issue. And so I'm grateful for your willingness and openness to partner with us on that and to talk through the next plan. So thank you. And I really do appreciate everyone's encouragement and want to see this pass because it's near and dear to our hearts. And I'm glad to hear that it's near and dear to yours as well. So that's all my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi everyone, Beth Berglund. We live in Kalamazoo. I just want to follow up on some of the questions that we heard, especially around implementation and support that the county would need for taking something like this and creating a whole new litany of programs. So the main point that we want to convey is that we don't want to be prescriptive. We want to give the county commission the tools that you need and the data that you need and the community partners that you would need to make something like this really impactful for community. We know that the concerns around the implementation of other community funds and things like that has come up in concern and conversation. And so really trying to uplift that MTC and the Kalamazoo Childcare Coalition, happy to continue to serve as like a community-based space to provide community input that includes families, providers, early childhood sector partners, funders, and economic developers countywide. The Children's Funding Project, which is a national nonprofit organization that provides support to community cohorts, to communities that have done this around cost modeling, implementation guidance, looking at governance structures, all of the things that other communities have wrestled over in their decision-making process. They support 58 communities nationwide in this process. First Steps Kent and Kent County, which is our partner county, 2 counties to the north, they've done this. They just repassed their millage for the first time. So in 2024, passed their millage again and have like broad support. And for us here, both as a community, as a partner, but also as a governing body. So Kent County has offered the support to work with you as a governing body to look at implementation and what their structure looked like and why they decided to go that route and why you may decide to go a different route entirely. the Kalamazoo Community Foundation broadly as a funder and as a community partner, the Upjohn Institute in terms of data and evaluation for funded projects. They want to sit with us and be there at the beginning so that the structure of the program is we're actually able to evaluate it as it goes forward. And so that information would be publicly available on a countywide impact dashboard. And then the Western Michigan University College of Education and Human Development and YWCA Kalamazoo, as the lead employer for Kalamazoo's Early Childhood Talent Pipeline Management, which is a program of the U.S. Chamber Foundation, and the support for our early childhood workforce. So, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to.
Good evening. I'm Mark Anthony Martin of Portage, Michigan, and I am opposed to new tax for childcare. Tax and spend is not a solution to childcare. Childcare expenses should not be a burden on me. The government destroyed childcare during COVID by closing childcare centers to prevent the spread of COVID. However, poorly thought out policy results in the permanent closure of over 600 childcare centers. In addition, young workers were paid not to work. This actually resulted in an agency and a group of employees earning more doing nothing than they could receive in money from working. Childcare is waning because of government handling of paperwork and lack of people willing to work in childcare. I've heard of people wanting to work from home in childcare. How does that work? How do you feed a child? How do you change diapers? How do you potty train? And how do you turn to social interactions? Virtually can't be done. Let me read to you a list of county taxes and taxes in general that we pay in Portage. KVCC, KVCID, state education tax, school operating tax, school budget, building, school site, county operating, CCTA transport, KCTA's transport, district library, library extra, county public safety, county juvenile hall, county housing, county senior, county 911, county veteran fund. In addition, some of these taxes are only supposed to be temporary and they become a permanent fee. I'm disgusted with this board for not looking at what you say versus what you do.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Welcome to you.
Hello. Oh, well, I'm on, right? Okay. Good evening. First of all, I want to first start with saying happy holidays to all of you and your families. Actually, I come to you today to talk about some of the financial disparity that's going on, that's being embarked on us by the county. I work for the juvenile home. I have been there for now 32 years. We're just having some major issues with longevity being respected. We feel like we're not valued. We are the glue that holds the juvenile home together. Right now, we have many new staff in the juvenile home, and without us being there to help those, those seasoned staff, which is us, to help those who are new, safety and security is very important in our building. And if we're not there, our administrators depend on us. We have a wealth of knowledge we bring to our less seasoned staff, and yet we're not being compensated for it. So right now we are, almost out of 120. We're out of 2025, and we're now embarking on 2026, and we have a wage scale that was implemented by the Siegel study, and thank you for that. That wage scale is much better It's a whole lot better. We fought for it, and thank you for allowing that to happen. But in saying that, the people who really actually I would say the less seasoned staff, the newer staff, maybe they worked there for a year. They are the ones that truly benefited and got a really high pay increase. Those of us who have been there 20, 30, 10, 15 years even, we are the ones that saw a less of an increase, but we said, you know what, we'll take that because it's betterment of the building. So moving forward now, it is also told to us that we were offered a 1.9 increase, well, 1.9 from 1.9 to 2, which is 1 point for the multiplier. But again, those are the ones who from 2015 on down would benefit from that. A seasoned staff, we also asked about maybe bumping us up a couple of steps because we've been there so long. I have been there for 32 years. Oh. Okay, well, I guess I gotta come back. And I will.
Thank you for your time. Welcome to you.
Hello. I'm committed to this now. Good evening. My name is Rebecca Bergman, and I live in Kalamazoo, and I'm here in this ridiculous hat to highlight a ridiculous problem. When I was a baby, my mother had to choose between breaking even, paying to work after the cost of childcare, or being pushed out of the workforce entirely. The crazy thing is that this crisis continues to be passed down generation after generation. My grandma would say, it's a problem as old as the dinosaurs. When my own children were young, I inherited the problem. And for me, this wasn't just about workforce participation. Barriers to childcare kept me trapped in an abusive marriage for years. After I escaped, lack of access to care during hours I needed to work created compounding problems, including serious health consequences. I want us to think honestly about what our community looks like when average families can't meet their most basic needs. I ask you to imagine your own life if you were a single parent without extended family support, trying to work, care for children, and stay housed at the same time. For many families in this county, that's their reality. Quality, affordable childcare shouldn't be reserved for the well-off. It's a foundational need of a healthy society. When families go without, the consequences compound. If you can't work, you can't afford housing or healthcare. Increasing access is a smart strategy for a stable economy, reliable workforce, and vibrant, healthy neighborhoods. We're in an urgent situation. When basic needs like childcare are unmet, people are placed at real risk for harm. I'm asking you to take a step that shows you care. Form an advisory board. Commit to meaningful collaboration with this community on this issue. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing your little one. Is there anyone else wishing to make comment? Welcome.
Chairperson, Commissioners, we gather here today because the decisions made in this room are statements of who we are. Right now, Kalamazoo County, these values are being tested. We face a deadline, December 31st. For our neighbors with disabilities, that date is a cliff. If we do not reappropriate these ARPA funds, we are telling them that when the clock strikes midnight, their safety is no longer our concern. We are accepting a reality where people who need our support the most are left out to face Michigan winter without a roof over their heads. But we must also confront how we arrived here at this last possible minute. This body did not learn of this crisis through an official report. You learned of it because of people who received these services and other people inside the system that spoke out. Those are the ones that rose the alarm, not ISK. Integrated Services of Kalamazoo failed to act. They failed to sound the alarm. They failed to communicate the severity of the situation even with their own employees who support these people. That silence is a breach of trust, but we cannot let these people suffer for the sins of the process. If there's anybody here today who intends to vote no, and believes administrative failure justifies human suffering, I have an invitation for you. Meet me outside and we'll discuss it outside in that cold weather that you're telling people to live in. Explain how we claim compassion while leaving the vulnerable to freeze. The question is not whether we can act, but whether we will. The funds are there, the authority is yours. History remembers moments like this, but it doesn't remember excuses. It remembers who stood up. It also remembers who failed to act like Jeff Patton did. I encourage anyone who is sick of Jeff Patton's leadership to call him on his cell phone at 269-720-7129. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? Welcome.
Sorry, okay.
That's all right.
So my name is Alfredo Lopez. I'm a resident of the Westwood neighborhood in Kalamazoo. And after hearing our friends' remarks, I chose to speak because based on what I heard and what I have seen, this community is willing to invest in the dignity of all. I moved my family here because of the safety this community provides, both from a diversity perspective and from the opportunity Kalamazoo provides, including the Kalamazoo Promise for our children and the Michigan Reconnect program for the adults. I support a tax increase because it would help provide further dignity to the lives of our community members through childcare, yes, but also helping our local economy and workforce. I support anything we can do to push for affordable childcare for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, I'm seeing none. Administrator, anyone online? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, with that, we're going to end our first public comment period. Thank you to each of you for participating. It's appreciated and valued. Let's go to item number 11, our consent agenda. Thank you, Administrator. Commissioner DeLu.
I move that the consent agenda items be voted on at one time by a roll call vote and be considered as a consent agenda by the board.
Oh, it was a close tie there. Let's see. Motion is made by Commissioner DeLu and seconded by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer, Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strebs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler.
Yes.
You have 6 yes.
Thank you, clerk. That consent agenda, that motion passes. We'll next go to item 12. We have unfinished business and general orders versus item 2025-1523. Request for approval of various updates to the business expense reimbursement policy. I'd entertain a motion. Motion is made by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we'll go to item 2025-1619. This is request for approval to establish the ad hoc committee for the public art selection for the new county parking garage. It's just the way it's printed. I'll do that one next. But thank you, Vice Chair. So for the ad hoc committee, to entertain a motion. Motion is made by Commissioner Ray, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Is there any further discussion on that one? Seeing none, clerk, will you please call a roll for this one?
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strebs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, Commissioner Mazer. You have 6 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. As this happens sometimes on the printed agenda, I don't know why they go out of different order. But the next one I have is item 2025-1620. This is request for approval of the final 2025 year-end salary pool adjustments and transfers. All right, I have a motion by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Commissioner DeLu. We have any discussion on this? All right, again, I see none. Clerk, please call a roll.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Streps,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner DeLu,
Yeah.
Commissioner Gissler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, Commissioner Mazer, Commissioner Morales, 6 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. All right, the next I have is item 2025-1527. This is request for approval of a resolution appointing Debra Linz as health officer for Kalamazoo County. I have a motion made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. I'll open for any discussion. Seeing none? Right, seeing none. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Streps,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer, Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Ray.
No.
You have 5 yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Congratulations. All right, we'll move forward to the next item, 2025-1521. Request for approval and signature of the final accounting, plan of distribution of the Gregory A. Schutz Trust, allowing the county to receive the proposed distribution as a beneficiary. Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner DeLu. Is there any further discussion? This is a receipt of over $310,000 for animal services. Just want to acknowledge what a generous gift that is to the animals of the community, and our thank you to the Gregory A. Schutz Trust for that generosity for us and for the animals. All right, with that, all those in favor may signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, thank you. Next, we go to item 2025-1453, request for approval and signature on the First Amendment of the Commissary Delivery Services Agreement and Addendum Kiosk Services Agreement with Canteen Services. Right, I have a motion by Commissioner DeLu and supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Discussion. Vice Chair.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions on this agreement. This was a 3-year contract, and this is the first renewal on that contract, correct, Administrator?
Yes, that's correct, Vice Chair.
And what type of control do we have as a commission or as a legislative body over the selection or RFP if we were to put this back out to bid? I know the timing to do it for 2026 is probably past, but what type, going into 2027, do we have an opportunity to, this has generated some press as far as the rates that were being charged to inmates and the population in the jail. But do we know, do we have any control after this 1-year extension is done into who we choose for the next agreement or the next vendor?
Go ahead, Administrator.
Thank you, Chair. Vice Chair, yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, the board does have full control to publish an RFP, and at administration's recommendation and in consultation with the Sheriff's Office, we recommended only extending a 1 year to allow for that time. So actually both services, both Commissary and telecommunication services, would be published at the same time, responses solicited, and then hopefully a vendor selected as approved by the Board of Commissioners.
Okay, hearing that reassurance from the administrator, I'm prepared to vote yes on this for a 1-year period of time. knowing that we are going to look and put out an RFP and find somebody or a company that's more less cost prohibitive, I guess would be the answer.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And just to speak to this item, we brought it here under now consent because I want to have this dialogue with the community so they understand the board's awareness of the concerns brought forward. Much of the concern focused around another contract in the county jail around ViaPath that provides telecommunication services, but we endeavored to sort of review conditions on other contracts as well. And this being up for renewal, the canteen services, many of the fees associated in media coverage, I think, are incurred through canteen services. This is the kiosk where individuals bring in money for folks currently serving time in the jail or awaiting sentencing, so they can access both commissary services or have that money to spend on telecommunication services. And so we can't have a disruption to that where people then cannot get access to buying personal care items or to be able to communicate with their families. So that is why I also will support a 1-year extension, but we will have this under close review. What is frustrating is looking at the fee structures both in the state of Michigan, within their corrections facilities and other adjacent communities. We see similar rate structures, and so it's going to be incumbent upon us both to RFP the process, but to effectively negotiate a contract that is more humane, I think, to folks that are serving or living within the confines of our jail. Any other comments? Council.
Madam Chair, I believe that the record does need to reflect, however, that the last RFP, Canton was the only one who submitted a bid. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that as well. The number of vendors are few. That is true. And this, again, a similar fee structure is sort of standard within the industry. So we'll see what we can do both in the RFP and contract negotiations. Vice Chair.
I think the one vendor that submitted the bid is probably the reason that you're paying more for services to add on than you would at a casino ATM. It's kind of, they're excessive.
I agree with that. All right. Seeing no further discussion, here we'll take up this 1-year extension with the intention to RFP prior to the next termination date. Clerk, on this, will you please call the roll?
Vice Chair Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler? Commissioner DeLue?
Yes.
Commissioner Gissler?
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler? Commissioner Mazer? Commissioner Morales? Commissioner Ray?
Yes.
Chair Strebs?
Yes.
You have 6 yes.
All right, that motion carries. Is there another? Vice Chair.
A request for approval of an ARPA funding strategy to stabilize ISK Permanent Supportive Housing PSH program and authorize to draft and execute required agreement in the amount of $66,000.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Is there discussion? Vice Chair.
First, this is absolutely, we need to do this. This saves us money in the long term. And secondly, I'd like to thank Zachary Lassiter, who brought this to my attention. There was people in the community that brought it to my attention, and I do wish I would have known about it earlier.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I want to thank our partners for helping to us quantify the size and scope of the potential threat landscape over the course of the year coming as well. And I look forward with both ISK and HRI that are providing permanent supportive housing services in the community as we strategize for that. As I said at our prior meeting, Commissioner Ray was in our dialogue, we have held back some housing millage funds if needed, that we can be responsive. We have this threat to, nearly 40 years of bipartisan support for funding of this program that houses people with significant disabilities, such as serious mental illnesses, and helps them stay stabilized in housing with supportive services so they, get meals and medications rather than seeing them evicted and onto the streets. Particularly in light of, a tragic death that we had in the community just recently. It's incumbent on government to take action for the community to problem solve together and for all of us to advocate on behalf of human dignity and justice. Vice Chair Pro Tem?
Thank you, Chair. This buys us some time to see how things are going to work out and come up with a longer term plan. So it's good that this came forward as soon as it did and we were able to act. Thank our administration for finding the funding to make this work for the next 90 days so we can continue to process the situation and do what needs to get done. Thank you.
Okay. All right, with that, no further discussion. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner DeLue?
Yes.
Commissioner Gisler?
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler?
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer? Commissioner Morales? Commissioner Ray? Chair Straps?
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler? We have 6 yes.
That motion carries. Vice Chair.
Yeah, I don't have a motion to make tonight on this, but I think it's appropriate to talk about this on new business to commissioners. There was a grants allocation process that we went through with $400,000, and we originally had awarded $20-some thousand to a Texas Township trail project. We were told that they didn't have the match to do it, so that project was withdrawn. After speaking with a couple different members of the Texas Township Board, as well as people that on the Friends of Texas Township Park, they did have the match for it, and I think refining that process for next year. It was our first year doing it. I would be in favor, and I kind of want to look around the board to see for the strategic issues or ask administration to come up with a source to make them whole that we'd be giving instead of 400,000, 420,000 or whatever to our community grants project would come out of contingencies or come out of something to make Texas Township receive one of our grants that they were awarded. It wouldn't be for what scored low, it would be for the project that scored high, the trail project. I am in support of the trail project. I am not in support of a project that only benefits Texas Township residents, but the trail project supports all members of the community that utilize their park system. So I just wanted to gauge support if I worked with the leadership team to bring it back on our January 20th meeting to have an allocation of that requested amount to fund their parks project. If that would suffice, or if I see any opposition, I won't have private one-on-ones with Kevin about this, but this kind of popped up this afternoon, this morning, and yesterday. I talked to some Texas Township officials, and they would really like the money for the trail, and that there was no shortfall of their matching grant.
Thank you for bringing that opportunity to our attention. Is there any other concerns or opposition to Vice Chair's proposal? I mean, we supported this grant request initially through the process, so if we can have a constructive dialogue with administration and find a solution to that, let's bring it forward. Okay. All right. Okay. With that, I think we move now to item 14. This is our second and final opportunity for public comment in this session. Again, public comment can be made in person or by phone at the number previously stated. We press *3 to join the queue. We can address the board for up to 3 minutes. We ask you do so in a professional and respectful manner on any topic. Once you're recognized, please share your name and where you're from. Welcome. If there's a person on the button at the bottom of the mic, there
Hi.
you go. Welcome.
Mark Anthony Martin of Portage, Michigan. Just so we have a little clarification, childcare is a problem throughout this whole state. And the reason is nobody wants to work. I know several daycare providers and Montessori's that have tried for over a year to hire people. over 75% never show up for the interview. And of the 25%, they don't come back after the interview and are offered a job. It took a daycare provider I know a year and a half to hire somebody for 2 days a week part-time. It took a Montessori person still trying to find people to work. So if you're going to do childcare, you got to make it so people want to work. And people don't want to work changing diapers, feeding babies, and doing stuff like that. You're looking at the wrong end by doing a millage. That's not going to solve the problem. We need to educate, recruit, and start at a younger age. The other thing is seniors are on a fixed income. 10-year millage? Are you kidding me? I just on the news tonight they talked about there's a $10 million project, $200 million project going forward for childcare support. So for 10 years you're going to collect, and what if that law passes where they get the money to support childcare? Now we're paying twice with public money. Moving to a whole different topic. Data centers. They should ring a cold chill down your spine because data centers steal groundwater. It doesn't come back into the system. Each data center uses over 1 million gallons of water a day. Think about that. 1 million gallons of water a day. We're upset about the bottling companies taking water from our aquifers and taking it out of state. This is not recycled water. Once it's gone from the aquifer, it's gone. It doesn't recycle. It's for the chilling towers and cooling towers for the data centers. The reason they're picking Michigan is because we have cold weather and we have 23% of fresh water in the world. What happens when those aquifers are gone and we start having groundwater problems and we have ground problems? I'm just asking you to please think about that because the state has made it very difficult to stop these data centers.
Thank you.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon. I'm Jeff Patton. I'm CEO of Integrated Services of Kalamazoo, and I'm very happy to see you again. Haven't seen you in quite some time. I just want to extend our appreciation for the support from the commission tonight for funding for, we're losing some HUD grants. Pretty much in November, we were advised by HUD that they're making some changes, some policy changes in how they issue grants and fund grants. But I want to just use this time. I think you've known me I'm in my 25th year. And about 3 years when I first started this job, the county asked for us to take over its emergency shelter, which is now known as Oakland House, which has expanded over the years. We operate 3 other shelters as well. We serve over 9,000 people in Kalamazoo County. And about 1,400 of those individuals are homeless. We do not have people on the streets. We don't see people evicted. This is a very difficult challenge for us, and we have been meeting internally to find opportunities and other ways that we can maintain people in their own homes. Be assured that ISK is going to stand behind this. But we appreciate the support from the county, and the county has really supported us down through the years. But I want to make sure that you have confidence in us that we will provide services to people that we serve. We're increasing the scope of services. And, you know, democracy is a wonderful thing. I heard tonight that my phone number was given out. That's a wonderful thing. You can call me at any time, and I'm available. But I want to assure you that ISK is going to provide the highest quality services that it can provide. When it can't do that, you'll hear from me first. But if you're hearing things, please let me know, and I will explain just what's going on inside. What I do not ever want to do with people we serve is to put them in a panic. I do not do that. I do not parade people in front in public when we're having issues. That's our job to solve those issues. We want to protect people, but we don't want to alarm them unnecessarily. We need to problem solve, and we're doing that. And I thank you. I really thank you for stepping up and helping us. We really need the help. But we're not going to allow people to sleep on the streets and be evicted from their homes. I assure you of that. Thank you very much, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Welcome.
Hi again, Tony Kennedy, veteran. I want to talk about and thank you for voting for Deb Linz. I think that we're going to see her doing a tremendous job. The reason why I wanted to come back and speak to you is that I wanted to talk about the veteran boxes for the holidays. So I worked really hard to get funding. State Representative Julie Rogers and myself every year have provided funding or received funding to provide meals for veterans, and it almost didn't happen this year. And I will tell you, God is good, and people are good, and I was able to get a few extra donations, etc., to be able to make it happen. So December 20th, which is Saturday, in front of the Douglas, because we were not allowed to do it at the County Health Services building, they have a drive-through location there where veterans can come in. They must be able to prove that they're a veteran, whether it's on a, we're not going to make things very hard, but, it's for veterans. You have to prove that you served or someone in your family served. And we are providing 100 holiday boxes with turkey and an entire meal for any veteran that comes. And their family members, etc. It's a drive-through experience. We're really good at it. We're getting better every year. So I just know next year I got to start a little early. So I just wanted to let you know, and I know that the county has always supported this effort. And Veteran First and the Rotary jumped in this year. Visiting Angels jumped in this year. Doug Pierce and Zach Bauer, State Representative Julie Rogers, her private charity jumped in this year. So I'm really grateful. And then I wanted to share about an event that happened today at Mount Zion. So we had a veteran, something I found through the VA. Oh, 37. There's 345 veterans in zip code 49007 that live in the north side, and 314 of them are not connected to any services. So today we had a wonderful event at Mount Zion, and a lot of us came together, the VA, etc. And over 75 veterans showed up today. So we're looking forward to doing some of those other activities in other zip codes. Maybe if we find the information via zip code, we might be able to hone in. And there's that song again. So I just wanted to say thank you. Happy holidays. I appreciate all of you. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you next year. Take care.
Thank you. Welcome, Health Officer.
Good evening, Commissioners. Just want to take this opportunity to say thank you for your support and confidence in the appointment as Health Officer this evening. I'm excited for this new chapter, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks again.
Thank you. Are there any others? All right. Seeing none, we'll bring that. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody online? Just in case, we're going to check. All right, let's go on to item 15. Reports of officers, bodies, and the administrator and controller. So I have a few comments this evening. I want to wish all my colleagues happy holidays. And all of the county employees that have put forth the effort this year, the entire administrative team, all of our directors, to the frontline staff who have just joined county government, working collaboratively with all of you is a great pleasure and honor. We're doing great things for the community, and I'm very proud of that. We're also being nimble and problem solving. I'm grateful also to our partners at ISK. I'll tell you that I work in the public behavioral health sector, and ISK is a quality community mental health services program. I mean, they do tremendous work. They are housed by, are run and operated by just a wide cadre of very caring professionals that work day in and day out for the folks that they serve, sometimes in very challenging circumstances. And they're creative. Social workers will find a way. Pointing at one of them, they'll find a way to find solutions. But know that partnerships are here and will continue to work together to solve the issues as they emerge. So tonight, we made some short-term strategies around some housing funding instability, but we do have something exciting to announce to the community this evening. And so I want to share a bit of that with all of you. So tonight, Kalamazoo County, we launch and announce the Keys to Kalamazoo. This is a draft housing framework. Keys to Kalamazoo serves as a strategic and countywide roadmap. It's going to reduce housing instability, expand affordable options, and use public dollars responsibly, or think about how to strengthen shelter access, housing stability services, affordable housing development, and pathways to home ownership across the community. I'm going to talk about why this matters right now. We know that housing costs have been escalating. There's a number of pressures on people, from food to housing to healthcare. Living an affordable life is, becoming more and more out of reach. Federal resources are shrinking, and our Kalamazoo housing ecosystem remains reactive and fragmented. And those are things that county government is in a role, in a position to address. So with local partners and voters, they've made really clear to us that they expect action and solutions. And so it's time for county government to step forward into a stronger and coordinating role. Keys to Kalamazoo, our draft housing framework, responds to this need by outlining how the county can move from a patchwork of responses to a more coordinated and effective housing system. So what are we doing this evening? Funding for the housing framework, we have a generous donation from a private donor who has committed $23.3 million over the next 3 years to help county government move parts of this draft housing framework forward. The investment is going to strengthen several components of our housing continuum, from the access of shelters and diversion to supportive housing. We are going to have a county designed and run county voucher pilot program for rental subsidies. We will move forward with the landing place and long-term housing stability efforts as well. So this major investment in our local housing work, the gift comes from a very generous philanthropic partner who has chosen to remain anonymous. The investment in housing work will happen across Kalamazoo County, not in just one project or within one agency. This builds on collaboration that's taken place over years with dedicated focus from a variety of partners. So we want to recognize the partners at the table in this: Kalamazoo County government, in particular, our housing department, and our entire county leadership team, the city of Kalamazoo, the Kalamazoo County Land Bank Authority, the Kalamazoo Continuum of Care, and the United Way of South Central Michigan, the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, the Kalamazoo Community Foundation, Southwest Michigan First, and a long list of other local service providers and agencies who will continue to be in collaboration with. This commitment that we're making tonight supports a shared and long-term approach to our housing solutions. So rather than funding every aspect of the housing system, this investment is going to target areas where coordinated county leadership can kickstart the overall framework over the next 3 years while positioning us in the county for long-term success. This $23.3 million investment advances priority initiatives within the draft housing framework. So this initial seed of $23.3 million starts this 3-year initiatives. It does not fund every component, but focuses on high impact pieces of that work to strengthen both coordination, stability, and long-term capacity. So what are we going to accomplish? Over the next 3 years, this investment again will launch a county voucher pilot program. It will fund operations and wraparound services for the landing place. So this will be fully funded for this first 3 years with this philanthropic support. This is the largest transitional family shelter in the state of Michigan that we are endeavoring to launch here in Kalamazoo County. It also funds construction gap for the landing place to make sure not only are the services high quality, but the facility itself will be a welcoming, safe, and loving place for the families we serve there. It will also support a countywide strategic and implementation plan for housing. This implementation and strategic visioning will occur with broad collaboration from our community partners. The county is serving as a convener and facilitator where we'll work together to create these solutions, not driving the direction without deep commitment and collaboration. We'll also build a data integration system to better track needs, outcomes, and results. We'll focus on shelter access coordination and diversion work. Just today, or yesterday rather, we had lengthy discussion about shelter coordination. Right now, an individual has, maybe on the streets and homeless, and they have to call multiple providers trying to figure out where a bed might be open, often leaving messages, sometimes being placed onto a wait list. We will help streamline that process with one entry point for people, and we will engage in that dialogue across providers so we know where supports are available and where the type of services an individual needs we can connect them to. We'll also support county administrative capacity to guide and sustain the work as well. So these investments together are designed to move the county's housing system from reactive to coordinated. It supports immediate needs while laying the groundwork for that lasting impact. So the roadmap includes 4 phases of implementation. We have a clear path in front of us. We're in phase 1. We will move into launch and stabilization. In phase 2, we will conduct planning and coordination activities. Phase 3 will move into implementation and construction. And in phase 4, we will scale for long-term solutions. This donation allows us to meet these immediate needs through the landing place, the county voucher program, and shelter access coordination and diversion, while at the same time gives us the ability to garner community input for the longer-term solutions with that strategic implementation plan and a county data system. So I'm tremendously excited about this opportunity. I want to thank our philanthropic partnership for its support of this work and for all of the people involved, and particularly our county administrator, Deputy Administrator Lindy Smith and Terrell Cole, and our housing department, including Director Mary Balkema and Deputy Director Willa de Toronto. This is a tremendous collaborative effort, and we're very excited about it. With that, that's all I'm going to have to say tonight. That was quite a bit. So thank you and congratulations to everybody. I'm excited to see people served by this endeavor. Let's go.
And one more thank you. Thank you, Chair Streps, for your work on this as well. You're too humble on this. I know you played a large part in this, and you deserve credit as well. Regardless of where you go across the country, political spectrum, you go from one local board to another, whether it be a very progressive board or a very conservative board, they have one thing in common. They all agree The federal government is broken. It does not provide the needed, it's reactive. What ends up happening is patchwork systems put in place from housing to healthcare to childcare. And we've got these patchwork systems. Now, we're not going to be able to solve all of them, especially not all of them with a millage. But we do have the ability to leverage the millages and leverage the dollars that we do have locally to solve problems one at a time. And this housing initiative that Chair just mentioned is going to have an extreme impact on our community. We're going to be a leader and not wait till the federal government solves the problem, because they won't. Our executive branch has gone from one person that wore adult diapers to the next person that wears adult diapers. We've got to have a system in place where people, local governments, are going to have to solve this solution. We're not going to rely on K Street or Washington, D.C. to solve these problems. It's got to be done locally. And we're leveraging the generosity in our community with the people that are in our community that want to solve these problems. That's how it's going to grow in our nation. It's got to come from the local. Because if we wait for the next politician who gets enough PAC money to run enough commercials to win, you're not going to solve any problems in Washington, D.C. It's got to be done locally. Thank you. And Gigi, if you're still up, it's time for bed.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I want to take a moment to thank the County Commission, our administration, for their hard work on this effort. This has been a long term. Our housing director and those folks have been working diligently to put this plan together, and with the teamwork from this board and from our administration and from our partners, it has come together. As Vice Chair said, if we're waiting for Washington to fix the problems, don't hold your breath. We will fix it locally, and that's how it should be done. Grassroots usually is the best source. We know what the problem is. We're going to figure out what needs to be done. We may need to ask for some partnership from time to time, but I think overall, locally should be where the problem gets solved. We solved a couple of big problems that came to us tonight. We're going to work on some more. We have a lot ahead of us. But it's great that you're giving this present to our public tonight, just before the holidays. And I want to take a minute to wish every one of our county employees and our county in general a happy holidays, the best that you can have. Be safe out there. We want you to live in a county that's a great place to live, work, and play. I got it in, Dale. So, and take a moment though to thank all of those folks that help us, whether they be city or village or township folks. They're all working hard to make Kalamazoo a great place to work, live, and play. Wish them a happy holiday. Keep in mind our our military folks that protect us here and abroad, our local fire, police, ambulance folks, our doctors and stuff that take care of us here locally. If you see them on the street, give them a minute to thank them for their dedicated service for the many years of that they're out there in the cold trying to protect the folks. And then take care of your family, your neighbors. Keep an eye on this kind of brutal. Good thing winter doesn't start for another week. I'd hate to think if it started early, but this year it has. We haven't had a winter in quite a while, but looks like we may have one this year. So be careful out there, be safe, and thank all those that help keep us safe, and have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem. Commissioner DeLu. Oh, I'm sorry, I do that. Just getting ahead of myself. I'll just skip right over you. Administrator.
All right, thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners, audience. Just have a few or several announcements, but I think several meaning only 5. So several would be multiple, actually, I guess is really the term. I wanted to follow up on Vice Chair Pro Tem's question really quick regarding the EPA Technical Assistance Grant. So the Kalamazoo Climate Crisis Coalition received funding through the EPA Community Change Grant. As you know, that grant is up in the air in litigation right now. We received some funding from the Michigan Technical Assistance Fund that the Planning Department received to support this work as well. So we're leveraging those dollars to allow the Kalamazoo Climate Crisis Coalition to continue that work in the meantime, and those are reimbursed through February of 26. That portion of funding, what it basically supports is a number of things. Primarily personnel related, so salaries, wages, in delivering energy efficiency measures, increasing resiliency, and then improving air quality in existing housing stock. So that's what that funding was for, about the 30,000. The technical assistance funds are around $230,000. So we'll see some additional invoices coming through for processing through the claims list. I wanted to just speak a little bit too on the housing framework, the draft housing framework, and getting that solidified, as well as the philanthropic investment and then the countywide coordination. This was around, I would have to say, more than a year's long process to really intrigue investors in supporting the work that the county does. The county, as Chair Strepp said, is really serving as a convener. We know that we cannot do this work alone. No single jurisdiction organization can solve these, it's not what I call them, it's in public administration, it's a term called wicked problems that are, just recognized as that. Housing is one of them that no one can solve alone. You need the partnerships to be able to address these issues effectively. We have, quite honestly, in Kalamazoo County, and I think that our philanthropic supporters recognize this, we have the A-team in Kalamazoo County government. So under Director Balkema's leadership, she really recruited Deputy Director DiTerano and her expertise to dive into these areas a lot more. So although we stole her from Portage, and hey, we flaunt that pretty widely. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to take the talent. Mary and Willa have just done a phenomenal job in, really paying close attention to these issues, bringing leadership along, as well as the Board of Commissioners and all of our community partners in supporting our endeavors. So we're very excited about this $23.3 million philanthropic support to move along some of these tasks within the draft housing framework that'll make a meaningful impact on Kalamazoo County. And then we hope, at the end of it, that we continue to have that influx of dollars to support our efforts collectively, because it's not just the county, it's all of our partners. And we say that all the time. I think that, again, folks don't understand that there's a lot that goes into this, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of late hours working on this. It was a lot of work. So, and a plan like this, and I say a plan, that'll eventually become a plan. Everyone's never going to be happy. There's always going to be some give and take, but I think that together, as we can collectively garner some alignment and strategy, it'll be beneficial and worthwhile, I believe, to the community. So we're excited about that. So just really appreciate staff's, obviously board leadership support, especially Chair Strepp. You've been very supportive of this effort, and I think that it's recognized through the philanthropic dollars that we just recently received. So very excited about it and look forward to continue working with the board and the community on this project. I wanted to, just for the board, I know I sent an email about this. Facilities master plan was supposed to be discussed tonight. There are a few tweaks that need to be made so that we ensure that inclusivity is just top of mind. And so we want to make sure the right folks have reviewed it and are amenable to the content that's within that. So we need until the 20th of January. At that meeting, we'll have that presented at the COW. And that should be enough time for us to tidy up that document. So stay tuned for that. Relatedly, I wanted to talk about a recent report that the State Court Administrator's Office rendered and published regarding a judicial needs assessment. So if you all recall, in 2022, we received that same report that necessitated a judicial appointment within the circuit court. So that report is published every so often, and they study both quantitative and qualitative data. The qualitative data suggested, or the quantitative, excuse me, data suggested that the court system, so that's the 8th District Court and the 9th Judicial Circuit Court, needed about 3.99 judges. They then endeavored in the qualitative portion of it that the state, that SCAO, State Court Administrator's Office, proceeded to draft and research sort of the qualitative portions of judicial work. That report has now come back, and it's recommending that we have 2 judgeships extended to Kalamazoo County, so 1 district and 1 circuit. Now, that timeline in general is it's that there is no real timeline for this. The report's released, and the Michigan legislature has to take it up at a certain point, and that can be a number of years. I believe what I heard when I started in 2022 was that our judge that just started, so Judge Morse, that just began her tenure in January of this year. I believe that took it was like 5 to 20 years. So yeah, I was like, it was something, it takes a while to get this moving. So, but it is something that our facilities master plan contemplates is additional judgeships in the future. So you'll see that when we present that information on the 20th of January in 26, that it does contemplate building out space for additional courtrooms to be able to sustain some of those increases to judgeship. So I just wanted to point that out. We don't have the report yet, but the circuit court just made me aware of it, and they said that we would receive it in due time from SCAO. So I just wanted to let you know that. And lastly, just wanted to, today I wore my holiday tie that actually Director Balkema got me years ago, but then I left it. Anyway, long story short is she got me a new one, and I wear it proudly because it's just a festive time of the year. It just is. So as we close out, just like to extend my thanks to this board, the county staff, community partners that support us in dedicating and collaborating throughout the year 2025. It's been a fast year. Time in Kalamazoo County is very odd. I cannot believe we're already in December 2025, but I want to wish everyone a safe, restful, and happy holiday season. And lastly, remember that our organizational meeting for the board is scheduled January 6th, 2026. We have a board training that precedes that at 4 p.m. That organizational meeting will begin at 5 p.m. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. And like I said, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator. We have any questions? Vice Chair.
Sorry, really quick, and I forgot to ask this, and I don't know if this is a question maybe for you, Chair, probably, or I mentioned briefly about how our federal government is broken, and one of the ways it is the voucher system that's currently done by the federal government is you're either on it or you're off it, and too often people can't afford to take promotions. They can't afford to go out and make more money. I'm hoping with this voucher system, we can have a sliding scale so we can slowly build people towards self-sufficiency as opposed to an on-off switch.
Yeah, I thank you for highlighting that, because it is absolutely a weakness within the system now, along with at times people holding a voucher in their hand and struggling to find either housing or a landlord that will accept the voucher. There's some local policy in the city that addresses that, but you're exactly right. There is a cliff that people hit. You make just over that income threshold and you would lose your entire rental subsidy. So that leaves families then trapped in a condition where they cannot take that promotion. They cannot pick up the extra hours. They cannot do things to improve their circumstance, because that raise is insufficient to cover the loss of the subsidy. And so I think we certainly can design programming cognizant of the weaknesses in the current system. Let's build one, I hope, here in Kalamazoo County, and with collaboration from our community partners that shows how it should be done for our community members to get people stabilized and moving forward into stability and progress for them and their families. That'd be a tremendously exciting component. And we got 3 years to show them how to do it right. That's the hope. Thank you, Administrator. All right, with that now,
Okay, I have a
Commissioner
couple of
DeLue.
things. First of all, you talk about locally tackling the problems that the federal government can't. And quite honestly, I think the only reason we can is because of the generosity of certain individuals in this community. I've been in Kalamazoo my whole life, and I often think, what would it be like without the generosity of people in this community? And this is just, we couldn't do this $23 million on our own. And I just can't be overstated how much better this community is for the generosity of certain individuals. And along those lines, the Gregory Shoots Trust, I've been here 3 years. I've never seen a trust donate money. So now that it's out there, people can know. And Chad Ensign's here from the animal control, and I'm anxious to see what how that money is going to be used. But it is very generous of that family to allow that to happen for animal control. And I also want to thank tonight Tony Kennedy. I serve on the Veterans Board, and she goes above and beyond for the veterans of Kalamazoo County. This whole thing here for the 100 boxes of food for the veterans, it wouldn't happen without her. And there's and like today at the meeting at the church, trying to get the more minority veterans signed up for services, that wouldn't have happened without her. So she is if I was a veteran, which I'm not, and I needed something, I would turn to Tony, because she gets things done, and I appreciate it. And I'm not even a veteran, so. And lastly, this is my turn to admonish the vice chair for his one opportunity to wear a Christmas tie. And if you'll notice, everybody's in the spirit, but I don't think John owns a tie here. So, but thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. I want to put ditto marks under a couple of comments that Dale made. One, I've said it often, that we are so fortunate that the people with the wherewithal in this county aren't lounging on the sand and somewhere in the Mediterranean. Maybe they do that, but they keep track of what's going on in the county, and it couldn't happen without them. And she doesn't have a ton of money, but Tony Kennedy brings passion to everything she touches. If you ever approach her for something and she blows you off, you probably got a bad idea. And I do want to mention that my Kalamazoo Citizens for Responsible Government meets every second Monday of every month. We just had an Enbridge presentation, and the young lady that presented to us was kind enough to leave her slides with me. So anybody that would like to see what Enbridge is talking about, be happy to forward those to you, and she'd be happy to have them in your hands. And the next meeting is going to be on January 12th, and maybe Tony's going to be there, because it's going to be the road commission talking to us. And she's, I think, are you the newest road commissioner now? I think you are. Yeah. Well, you can be there to keep either Travis or Mark Warden straight. Don't let them get away with anything on us. I think one of the focus areas they're going to deal with is a big grant that they've been trying to apply. Well, they've applied for it multiple years, and then they finally achieved an extra $25 million from the state. Maybe it wasn't the state, maybe it was the Department of Transportation in Washington. But they, now have it, and it's got to be devoted to safety. And we'll be interested in seeing on the 12th of January what they have in mind. Thanks very much, and Merry Christmas to all.
Thank you, Commissioner Gisler. Time goes by in Kalamazoo so weird, because it's a place we love. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Happy holidays to everybody. Thanks everyone so much for the work. We're adjourned.